let me turn now, finally, to the matter of independence. I want to be clear to Parliament that while I believe that independence is the best option for Scotland, I don't think that will come as a surprise to anyone. It is not my starting point in these discussions. My starting point is to protect Scotland's interests and to protect our relationship with the EU. However, I'm in no doubt that there has been a very real and material change to Scotland's circumstances brought about by last week's referendum result. There is no doubt that we are in a new and different place this week from last. During the independence referendum, we were told that staying in the UK meant we could benefit from having guaranteed access to the EU. Indeed, that was a driving factor in many people's votes. That is no longer true. The country and the constitutional settlement the people of Scotland voted for in 2014 is no longer a reality. Based on the very clear result in Scotland, if we were to be removed from the EU, it would be against the will of our people. That would be democratically unacceptable. It is for that reason that I have said that everything must be on the table to protect our place in Europe, including a second independence referendum, and to ensure that the option of holding a referendum within the timeframe of UK negotiations on leaving the EU is viable. We will prepare the legislation now. However, let me be clear about this. If the Government does conclude that the best or the only way to protect Scotland's place in the EU is through a referendum on independence, we will return to Parliament with that judgment, and it will then, at that time, be for Parliament to decide. I am emphatically not asking Parliament to endorse that step today. A vote for this motion is not a vote for a referendum on independence. I hope that this clear commitment will remove any reason for the Conservatives not to back our motion today. It would be ironic and I think deeply regrettable if the party that has put us into this unfortunate position ended up as the only one standing in the way of our efforts to resolve it. Voting to deny us the Parliament's support for our discussions with EU institutions and Member States to explore ways of delivering the outcome people voted for would, I think, be to frustrate Scotland's interests. Presiding Officer, the situation we find ourselves in is not of our making. There is no easy path ahead, and at this stage there are no guaranteed outcomes. But my job is to navigate the best possible path for Scotland, one that protects our interests and gives effect to what the people of our country voted for, and that is what I am determined to do. As I do so, I promise that I will be open and frank with Parliament and with the Scottish people about the options, the challenges and the opportunities that we face, and I hope that we can move forward in a spirit of unity and national purpose. Presiding Officer, my final point today is this. While our agenda on Europe is vital, we will not, must not, allow it to distract us from the business of governing Scotland and delivering on the priorities I set out only a month ago. Later today, the Deputy First Minister will underline our determination to promote excellence and equity in our education system by publishing our new education delivery plan. We will not waver in our determination to reduce inequalities, promote an inclusive and growing economy and reform our public services. The situation we face will not stop us seeking to make Scotland a better country for all the people who live and work here. Indeed, the steps that we take to protect our place in the European Union will be part of that work. Presiding Officer, to conclude, I'm asking Parliament to recognise today the position that Scotland has been placed in by the referendum result, a position which is at odds with the will of the Scottish people. And I'm asking Parliament to support the motion we bring forward today. Scotland has voted to remain in Europe, and we must now take all the action necessary to ensure that the will of the Scottish people is respected. So I am asking the Chamber today to support the Government in the challenge that lies ahead of us, and for all of us to work together and to do our best to turn this moment of disappointment and regret into a new and promising beginning, based on our common values and our shared commitment to the people we serve.
So, the First Minister saying Scotland has voted